Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We're going to be taking a look at Queen going up against Best. The map is going to be Knockout, a map that seemingly was made especially for this matchup. So, fun stuff. All right. This is actually such a good match, by the way, Queen versus Best. If you think back to last ASL season 19, they had one of the best matches, in my opinion, in the tournament. Like, Best ended up beating Queen 3-2, if I'm recalling correctly, and it was just a really solid, awesome time. Like, Best really had to pull out some new cool stuff to beat Queen with, even though Queen was in very good shape. So, looking forward to seeing these two go at it here once again for us, for our viewing pleasure. Of course, don't forget this little divot here is low ground, which does make Hydra bust a lot harder. A lot of people have still been opening 3-hatch Hydra and like pressuring the wall, but I've seen almost no full attacks, and I have not seen a 3-hatch Hydra yet win on this map with the actual bust itself. So most people haven't really pulled the trigger on doing it 100% anyways, so that, you know, there hasn't been a lot of opportunities for that, but I haven't seen it as of yet. So the map may be working as intended. I don't think something like this will become standard, but I think it's a good thing to test right now so that it is an option in certain areas. It's like, okay, so I want to specify a little bit better than that. We've had a lot of maps with a raised ground natural, and those are also unbustable. This is like, okay, we don't want to go as far as a raised ground natural, but we still want a fast expansion to be really, really strong here. So that's why I think it's like a good, interesting thing to be trying out right now, because I think anytime you have a high ground natural, like it forces expansions almost. Like it's insane. Like it's Nexus first all the time. It's gasless command center all the time. It's hatch first well, hatch first is a little bit different, but you know, it's just like, yeah, you can defend with much less. Either way, the drone scouts that this is a gateway expansion opener here from Best, so he will run that away from the Zealot. A few Zerglings come out, and we'll go after this probe as well. Of course, that was an overpool, if I'm correct here. I'm pretty sure I am. Wasn't really paying attention, but yeah, Best's gonna go ahead, put his Nexus down, and pretty standard openers. You can't really say too much about this already. So yeah, I want to thank you guys again for checking out our ArtosisCasts. Hope that you're enjoying the games. Trying to keep a decent variety on here, and you know, don't forget, like, for instance, Terran players play a lot more of the latter than Zerg and Protoss, which actually makes like you'll go through a stint where it's like, oh, there's a lot of this matchup, and maybe not as much like ZVP, for instance, because they just play the latter a bit less. But yeah, I want to make sure I'm still mixing in as much of everything as I can. So sorry if there's sometimes the matchups sway one way or the other. That does happen occasionally. So we're nearing that 100 gas, and I assume that we're going to see a layer go up. Yeah, there it is. So Queen going to go directly into a layer. He doesn't want to waste his time trying to get any sort of bust going on. The Forge made in the main base, as you can see right here, and Cybernetics Core as a part of the wall. And in fact, it got started before the Forge. So you can see just how confident right now, how confident Best really is in this position. So doesn't feel like he's got any chance to be busted. He's playing extra greedy, and I love to see it. So layer coming up, and speed, of course, on the way there as well. We have the StarGate and single photon cannon as of right now. Best just walking right forward. He actually gets pretty heavily surrounded on one Zealot. So that was actually a good engage there from Queen for what it was. Brings back his hurt Zealot and just lets that sit. Going to continue to try to push out here for a bit of pressure with his Zealots. Very good way to play it. But Zergling speed on the way and a few more Zerglings being made. I don't see these getting too much done. He's probably going to make a beeline for like the third base and try to get into here or possibly here. But I think Queen is going to stop him just before. So we have like 6 more Lings hatching. Once the 6 more are out with speed, he's going to be able to get the surround on these guys pretty quickly. A few more being made as well. All right, so here we go. Yeah. Just about exactly where you expect him to hit the surround. Good job by Queen getting those made immediately. If he had even waited 5-6 more seconds, the Zealots would have gotten into the harder to clear out areas. So very, very good job. Nice reads. Citadel coming up. Additional hatchery there for Queen. And of course, a Spire on the way. +1 air attack coming. And we'll see if he continues that onwards or cancels it out. Just getting a good high-quality scout here. Going to count those hatches, see if there's any more gases, anything like that. Sees the Spire timing, no big surprise. Pretty tame game so far. Nothing too crazy going on. Gonna go ahead and push this Overlord back a little bit. Some Scourge are being made. I think he has exactly enough time to kill this and get out of there. Dude, 4 Overlords in the bottom left. That's kind of funny. Don't know if he'll end up finding those or not. Thing is, I don't know that he can really commit to killing them because Scourge are going to be coming out. I think Bess is just going to run here in a second. Maybe he feels confident that he can juke and jive the Scourge enough. Yeah, well, he can't. Sacrifices a Corsair for the 2nd Overlord kill. And in fact, there's a decent chance that he'll catch this. There's like a little bit of mind games here because he knows that most likely there's some Scourge coming. And do you see how he bends this upwards? Like, okay, he sees it with the Lings. That's why the Lings ran back, and he gets it. Okay, so, like, that's really super rough for Best. Oh, he went to StarGate as well. Oh, my God. Guys, this is actually getting popular. That's kind of crazy. Now, here's one thing. When you lose, obviously you don't want to lose 2 Corsairs, but when you lose 2 Corsairs here, it might bait your opponent to go into mutas, and he's going to StarGate Corsair. So, like, But you guys might remember, I've said it in a couple of the casts on this channel, and I said it during ASL, that I kind of think that 2 StarGate Corsair is going to catch on as the standard meta. Now, obviously, this base is a little bit better against Hydrabus, so, like, that'll be a little bit better. 2 StarGate Corsair, because normally the counter to this is a pre-storm bust timing. I don't know if he's going to hit something like that, but we've actually had like much better micro out of Corsairs lately. Like Mini has, I feel like, been leading the charge on that a little bit, but enough talk about that. Let's see him as he goes in. The Zealots jump on top of these Overlord, or on top of the Hydras so that the Corsairs can kill Overlords. So he does supply block him there for a moment. Queen microing back and having to fight the Zealots with the Hydralisk so they don't die. Loses a ton of Overlords. So the Corsairs, like, really did their job there. If this, seriously, if this type of play, because he lost 2 Corsairs and still was able to do that, where it was like Scourge directly into Hydras, I do think we're witnessing the beginning of a metagame shift. I really actually do think that. This, more so than the maps, this might be one of the most important things happening right now to stop, like, the dominance of Zerg that we've been seeing more lately, especially with Soulkeep. But, I mean, obviously I'm going to keep an eye on this, but that is, like, the amount that he is dominating the skies right now is kind of insane. The Overlord's just being sent out immediately. He's waiting for more Overlords to hatch. A couple more cannons coming up. Most of the Overlords over in this area. There is one down there. But other than that, yeah, it's just he's popping them out and just sending them with his army immediately. Now, when there's enough Zealots out, if he recognizes that all the Overlords are over here, he's going to be able to chase everything out with his Zealots and then go after the Overlords, which might be really, really bad here for Queen. But the Hydralisk count is pretty darn high. He is in here, and, like, he didn't try a full bust. It is still technically pre-storm, so this would be the time where this might end up working. Corsairs, you can see a full split here going after Overlords. He's just checking the entire bottom of the map. He will catch that one Overlord that was left in the bottom left. There is another supply block that goes on here. Queen just kind of sitting in a little bit of a containment at the moment. Dude, imagine this. Like, the fact that he's got enough Corsairs that he is forcing every Overlord to be across the map is kind of insane. And, like, this is initial counterplay against this that we're seeing from Queen. Because this has been popping up, right? So he's definitely put some thought into this, and he's brought these down with his actual army. But that means everything over here gets crushed. And he's going to have to move these back with the Hydras, and he's going to have to do it really carefully. Because if he loses this group of Overlords, there's no way he's going to win. Right? Like, it seems like that would be impossible. Just too many losses. Still has maintained a ridiculous Corsair count. Sitting up here at 9. Don't forget he lost 2, so he would have had a full control group. Overlord drops just finished off. Okay. So we actually have some potential here for a big drop coming up with, like, Lurker Hydra. You know, if you get it on top of that Nexus, yeah, I could see actually Queen getting a win with that. Runs in there with the Lurker and actually takes some big damage from those cannons. Corsairs continuing to roam about. Every Overlord being rallied down, man. Oh my god, are you serious? Actually, once upon a time, proxy hatch sunken contains were a real thing in this matchup, like way back, like 2006 or something. I don't remember the exact year for that. It was when Longinus was still being played. We saw that sometimes still. But yeah, so that was maybe 2007, something like that. But yeah, that's kind of wild to see. And maybe he'll end up mining from there as well. Oh my god. Just craziness. Okay, so loading up a ton of Hydras as he forces those Corsairs back. Let's see what he can get done with it. Okay, here comes the drop. Dragoon's going to have to rotate back up very quickly here. He's killing off his own photon cannons so that he actually has room. Flies these in. Look at this. Best actually not really responding. I guess he's busy microing his Corsairs across the map. So actually getting a lot of damage economically done here. The probes just being absolutely erased. The Nexus going to be falling, it looks like. And, I mean, that is a very powerful moment. Best is gonna GG. Okay, so that was, like, not at all what I was expecting for a random drop to come in and end the game. Oh, my God. Well, there you go. 28 kills. Ah, that's crazy. Okay, but anyways, I actually would like to hear your guys' feedback on 2 StarGate Corsair maybe becoming like the new metagame for this matchup, because we've been seeing it popping up more and more and more recently. And in case you're confused about it, there's some micro where you flick shot Scourge that are chasing you, where like they're flying and then they suddenly turn around and shoot. And we saw Mini getting some of that done during ASL. We've seen it some in some games. In this game in particular, that didn't occur. Queen didn't go for a lot of Scourge. Instead, he went for the Hydras more quickly. And I guess at the end of the day, it ended up working out. But the idea of the Corsairs not having to sit at home until they hit critical mass, but instead being able to move out at 4 or 5 to hunt Overlords before the Hydralisk count gets high is very promising for Protoss, in my opinion. So let me know what you think about that. You think that could be the new metagame that's opening up right now? Kind of an exciting time for PvZ. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.